Hello guys, my name is Mulimolo Gwaza and I am your host for the Kingdom Campus. I thought I should do another video about something that I've been thinking about for the past 3 weeks, I think. Something that I saw and I've been like thinking about it each and every day. So today I've decided, you know what, let me make 2 videos and let me talk about this and get it out of my chest. And maybe find hopefully you will tell me your opinions about this. So 3 weeks ago I was in town, Maseru, and there was marching that was done. Police officers and other health organizations were marching as to raise awareness of using protection while having sex, and I was just thinking, who are they raising this awareness to? And the thing of the matter is that nobody, and I mean nobody, is telling people who are married to have protected sex. Nobody is telling even youths who are just got married. Nobody's telling them to have to use protection. So the awareness is likely made for teenagers. It is made for young adults and everyone who is not married, so as to avoid unplanned pregnancy and also STDs, right? So my question was, why are we even raising awareness to these people, this group of people? I'm talking about people who are not married, because according to the word of God, the way this is, only people who are supposed to have sex are married people. So this thing of raising awareness of using protection, while it has risen to the point where even these health organizations are going to high schools to educate teenagers on how to use protection and to encourage them to use protection. As a believer, that is not right. That is not right. And back in the days, I'm talking about 10, this is what is happening now almost in every country. So maybe 3 decades back, right, 3 decades back, these organizations were not, at least in my country, they were not going to high schools and telling teenagers to use protection, but rather people were going to tell teenagers to abstain. And a lot of people in that time did not get pregnant. A lot of them graduated from high school without have been involved in sexual activities. So, and a lot of teenagers, yes, it was a strange thing. It was like it was embarrassing to have engaged in sexual activities in high school, because what was being pushed, the agenda that was being pushed at that time was abstinence. But these days we are pushing the agenda of using protection, which means we are allowing our children, teenagers, young adults to engage in sexual activities as long as they are using protection. Sometimes the devil hides behind something that looks like it is good. It is more like when you're saying to someone, use protection, it is more like you love them, you are mindful of them, you are like trying to protect them so that they don't have to deal with STDs, they don't have to deal with unplanned pregnancy. But what you are doing is enabling them to sin, to engage in something that is wrong. I don't know what you think about this, and please comment what are your opinions on this topic. Should we still continue to raise awareness in using protection, or do you think it is better to push the abstinence thing? For me, I'll vote for abstinence. I'm not going to let you wonder for a long time what I'm voting for here. For me, it is abstinence, because I'm a Christian and I believe what is right. Integrity says do what is right, whether it is difficult or whether it is not going to benefit you, but do what is right. And in this case, having sex before marriage, it is not right. We know it. We all know it. But we have listened to the world so much that we don't even let our consciousness, we are suppressing it. We are suppressing our inner voice that is telling us that this is wrong. The thing is, when someone is a rapist, I'm going to make an example. When someone is a rapist, we don't advise a rapist to use protection when raping. We don't say, at least use, don't rape, but if you're going to rape, at least use protection. We never say that. We stick on one thing. We stand firm on, do not rape. This is bad. We are not even giving options or permission or whatever, that if you're at least you're doing it, do it this way, because that is enabling the rapist to continue to rape. But when it comes to this topic, we are enabling teenagers and people who are not married to continue in engaging in sexual activities as long as they are using protection, which means we have just lost our integrity when it comes to this topic. Why are we enabling? Why are we not standing firm on abstinence? If you are a child, if you're a teenager, if you're a young adult, if you are not married, then you have no business in engaging in sexual activities. You have to wait until you are married. Then we will let you do whatever that you want. But in the meantime, you have to wait. You have to have self-control. Self-control. What we are not teaching these teenagers and young adults, I'm talking about teenagers mostly because they are still children. We have to give them good advice. And young adults, they are just about to begin their lives, and we still have to give them a good counsel. So instead of saying to them, no, don't do this, the truth of the matter is you are not supposed to do this because you're not married. Wait your turn. Have self-control. Teach them to have self-control. Self-control is important. And these days, when a teenager tells other teenagers that they haven't done it yet, they get ridiculed. Why? Because we have taught these young girls and these young boys that sleeping with many people actually makes you a bad boy. It makes you a boss. And we have made it in such a way that it is more like you are succeeding in life when you are sleeping with many people, when you're sleeping around. When in actual fact, being a man or being a woman of class, it is having self-control. It is having self-control and doing things the right way. Integrity. Integrity says do right thing, whether it costs you, whether it is not going to benefit you, whether people are watching you or not watching you. It is just do the right thing. That is integrity. So we are encouraging them to do the wrong thing, but to protect themselves while they're doing the wrong thing. Why are we doing that? And the next thing we're going to say is this my 2000 are doing this and this, but we are the ones who are teaching these young kids this kind of behavior. We are the one who are enabling them. We are enabling them in this kind of behavior. Let us look at Matthew chapter 5 verse 37. But let your yes be yes and your no, no. For whatever is more than this is from the evil one. I would like us to focus on that, on this part where it says, but let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. What we have to do, I feel like, is we have to say no to save to protection, but yes to abstinence, and stick with that. Whether they are abstaining or they are not abstaining, it is another matter, but we have to have integrity. We have to stick with what is right, which is abstinence. I believe no parent wants their child engaging in sexual activities at a young age. As a matter of fact, no parent wants their child engaging in sexual activities before marriage. It doesn't matter how old you are, but no parent wants their children to do that before marriage, because we know subconsciously and consciously that that is the right way to do things. But we want to ignore the truth. We want to suppress our inner voices that is telling us or steering us in the right direction of abstinence. Psalm 25:21 says, "May integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Lord, is in you." So integrity will always protect you. That is what we need to teach our children. Self-control and integrity, so that they know that what they are going to do, if they pledge to do that, so that they know that that is wrong, and they will have letswalonyana leno no la hore re se ke be ga etsa ntho eno hobane e fosahetse impi. Having sex before marriage is bad. And the painful thing is that because we get advice from people, from older people, or maybe sometimes from our parents, they are trying to advise us so that re iphumana re sa wela ka hara mathata, but they don't know how to go about it. And because these organizations have taught them that they should teach protection over abstinence, and that is what they do, and we end up doing things that we are not supposed to do. Nobody is judging anybody. I'm not judging anybody. So if we teach people to walk in integrity and in uprightness, that will protect them from what we are afraid of, unplanned pregnancy or diseases that we don't want them to contract. So it is better if we teach integrity and walking in uprightness. Psalm 15 verse 1-2 says, "Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle, who may dwell in your house, in your holy hill? He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart." So though it is difficult to speak about abstinence, because now you are ridiculed, and if you're not engaging in sexual activities, o jwetsa ka bo matswai ho se re bo se ya o qeta hela batho se re bo se ya o qeta. So now we don't know how to stand for the truth. We don't know how to speak the truth. But the truth is, we need to teach people abstinence, not to use protection. Titus 2 verse 7-8 says, "But mostly show them all this by doing it yourself, trustworthy in your teaching, your words solid and sane. Then anyone who is dead set against us, when he finds nothing weird or misguided, might eventually come around." So as we are advising others, especially people who are not married, we should make sure that if you too are not married, you practice what you preach. So your children are not going to do what you ask them to do. There's a saying that says that your children won't do what you ask them to do, but they will do what they see you doing. So if you are not married, or you have a child but not a spouse or whatever, you have to first show that this is doable. You have to practice what you preach. We have to be everything that we want our children to be. If you want your child to be honest, then be honest. If you want your child to pursue sexual purity, then you make sure that you are also pursuing sexual purity, especially because sexual purity is not having sexual relations outside of marriage. If you are married, then you are allowed. If you are not married, then you have no business, like I've said, you have no business in engaging in sexual activities. So if you want your child to also pursue sexual purity, you also should pursue sexual purity. If you want your child to go to church, you have to go to church too. So your child does what they see you doing. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 14 says, "Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place." So you need to stand firm with the truth, with the belt of the truth. You need to stand firm with the belt of the truth, not shake. What is right is right, what is wrong is wrong, end of story. And you have to stand with what is right. And what is right now, it is to teach every person who is not married to abstain, is to encourage people who are not married to abstain. And one thing is that if we keep telling these teenagers and encouraging those that want to abstain, they get discouraged because of the ridicules that they find or they hear every day. So if they hear another voice that says abstain, 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 then maybe they will actually go through with it without shame, and they will stand firm in that. The other thing is, what I didn't talk about in Titus, it says, "Then anyone who is dead set against us, when he finds nothing weird or misguided, might eventually come around." Which means even people who thought this is impossible, even people who thought this was madness, when they see us doing it and working, and we are much safer because you're not going to be pregnant, you're not going to contract any diseases, and they find nothing faulty in our belief, then they might actually come around. Sometimes people make noise or ridicule other people's because it's what they have heard or they grew up knowing. This is how we live. They don't know the other side. So if you show them that no, this path that you're taking, it is actually the wrong path, but the right one is this one, they might resist at first, but over time, when they keep hearing that, then they might actually change their minds when they see that actually there's nothing wrong with this road. As a matter of fact, it is more beneficial than the one that I am taking. So they might turn around and take the right road, the right way of living. So thank you for listening until this far. If you're a Christian, please drop a comment. I want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think this raising awareness on protected sex is right, or do you think we should rather focus on raising awareness on abstinence? If you are a Christian, I really want to hear your opinion on this. So please comment and share, like, and share with a friend. I love you. Bye.